Hey, question for you. What do you think of when I say the words heavy metal? What is the image that immediately pops into your mind? Is it an image of a man or a woman in a flannelette shirt worn over a black T-shirt? On the black T-shirt is the picture of a skeleton playing an electric guitar with flames coming out of the end of it, and his or her arms covered in ink from fingers up to the shoulders. Do they look scary? That's the cliche, isn't it? Certainly, if that's the image that you see when you hear the term heavy metal, well, you wouldn't be alone, but it's not accurate. It's a bit wide of the mark. And in fact, if you want proof of this, or if you want to delve a little bit deeper and get the true story, there's a photographic exhibition on at the moment out at Crow's Nest, the Crow's Nest Gallery, that captures the adventures, life, and colour of the heavy rock and metal music scene. It's called The Metal Focus, and it is the work of Toowoomba photographer Makenzie Towson. Morning, Makenzie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very, very well. Was that part of your motivation for this exhibition, to get rid of those stereotypes that a lot of people have about people who play heavy metal music and people who like heavy metal music?
Very, very much so. I think one of the biggest things that really got me on this project was that I hadn't really seen much representation of metal in the art community at all, which was kind of surprising because not only is the music itself very artistic in terms of how complex it is, but even down to the way that people dress and express themselves. But the big consensus that I usually got whenever, I would say heavy metal to someone, they'd always be like, okay, well, you don't look like someone who listens to metal because you don't scare me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So again, it is that cliche, isn't it? And I suppose, though, in some ways, there certainly would be devotees of metal music that do dress like that, but I guess that's just a surface thing as well, and that's what you're trying to do is delve a little bit deeper and say, hey, this is a credible music form that takes talent, and there's art that goes with it, and the people, love this music in the same way that any other devotee of any type of music loves their music.
Oh, 100%. And if anything, I think the people that do have that style, they're probably some of my favorite people to look at.
Yeah.
Just because it takes a lot of time to put those looks together. You know what I mean? I think one of the biggest things is people hear the screaming in the music and they automatically think it's very aggressive and angry. But when you delve into the lyrics themselves, they're actually, more often than not, really warm and passionate. They're trying to express things like overcoming emotional adversity and, caring for the people around you. And I think that really translates into a community that's extremely supportive and welcoming of outsiders as well. But we tend to get this label of just being these weird freaks.
That's right.
And a lot of people are kind of scared of us if they were to see us on the street. So I think I just really wanted to translate that warmth of the community that I've been so lucky to be a part of, to the greater community by using, lots of colors and really taking you behind the scenes of what it's actually like.
So tell me a bit about what we'll see. I mean, this is what you've captured with your own camera, isn't it, over quite a bit of time of being involved in the local scene?
Yeah, so it was about a year and a half of me essentially going to concerts every single weekend, and just taking the sort of shots that I felt like really translated into the moods that I was feeling. So you'll see pictures of the community, you'll see pictures of shows, you'll see lots of light, lots of vibrance. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, your eyes will definitely be attacked by colour for sure.
And tell me, you also want to, and I don't know how you get this across in a photograph, but I presume that you wanted to get across that it's also music that takes a lot of skill to play. It may be loud, but it's frenetic, and the pace is extremely fast, and that is not easy to play. So they're accomplished musos.
Oh, 100%. You couldn't just, play an instrument for a couple of years and jump into a metal band. The way that I like to look at it is if you've got Olympic athletes, I think metal musicians are like Olympic grade musicians for the amount of skill that they have to pull this stuff off. But you can really kind of see that when you look at the photos that I have of the crowd. It's different to any other shows in the regard that, if I go to any other genre's concert, all I'm going to see in the air at the time of a song being played are phones, people trying to capture the moment.
Yeah.
But at metal concerts, all you see are arms in the air, all you see are people completely consumed by what's in front of them. Because we just can't believe, like, how is someone drumming, at that pace and that speed? It's a really, really incredible thing to watch.
Tell me, I love the quote in the press release, and obviously this has been handpicked, but it's a great quote from who is it? Alexander Ford from Diamond Construct. So they're a local band, right?
They are from Taree, New South Wales.
Oh, okay.
Originally. Yeah, but they're now living in Queensland.
Right, okay. Oh, so they've got wise. So he says Makenzie Towson has accurately encapsulated what it's like to be tired, broke, stressed, and at the same time happy. Does that pretty much sum up the life of a metal musician? Well, a musician of any genre, really, I suppose.
I think it definitely does, just because, you have to remember with how streaming has really taken over nowadays, artists aren't making money as they traditionally used to from album sales. All the money is quite literally made from touring and selling merch. And when you're an up-and-coming metal band, you're having to do a lot of touring for next to no money just to get your name out there, because a lot of the time we find our favorite bands when they're opening for other bands. So when they're giving their lives over to this craft, they're putting a lot of work into it purely for the love of it and not for much financial return. I think that's pretty much what he was trying to get across.
Yeah.
But again, they're a fantastic band.
Indeed, but I love the bit, but at the same time happy. So if you're doing what they love, then all the rest of it is fine. You could live with that. Tell me, have you always been a fan, and have you always been drawn to the photographic possibilities of this genre of music, or how did you get into it?
I've definitely always been a fan of metal since I was in my early teens. I think once that switch flicks in your head and you start understanding the music, it's really, really hard to stop. It's quite addictive. In terms of the photo side of things, before this, I was mainly taking photos of landscapes. But again, it just got to a point where I was going to concerts every single weekend, and I was always feeling these incredible things every time I would finish a show, and I really felt like I needed to capture that. And I myself digest quite a bit of art in terms of visual art. I'm constantly going to galleries and exhibitions. And I just thought it was so weird that for one of the most artistic communities that I was a part of, I'd never seen any representation. So, after about 3 months of just randomly taking photos, I decided that I was going to try and make this a thing and just collect as much material as I could.
And I would imagine, I mean, what's the reaction from, and I guess that quote is a good example. What's the reaction been from the local, lovers of heavy metal music, both the people in the band and the fans? Do they feel like their scene has been accurately depicted? Are they happy with it?
Yeah, the response that I've gotten both from the public and from the bands has been fantastic. I think the bands are just really happy that finally we're getting some exposure, in the art community. It's a really nice feeling for them, and a lot of them never thought that they would see themselves on an art gallery wall either, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And in terms of the local scene, I mean, Toowoomba in general, the local scene here have been extremely supportive. There are even a few businesses like Premier Sound and Lighting, Toowoomba Music Repairs, and Lust and Loathe Apparel, who actually helped me put on a concert on Sunday, a free concert for the public, just to celebrate the exhibition, which was
fantastic.
Awesome. So I don't think it gets any more supportive than that.
No, absolutely not. Well, the exhibition, I'll have to wrap up. I'm coming up to news, but the exhibition is on at the Crow's Nest Gallery through until the end of the month, and you're giving an artist talk on Sunday, the April the 23rd at 11 a.m. Free event, no bookings are required. Good luck with the rest of it, and lovely to have a chat to you this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Likewise. I appreciate your time.